for creators, for seekers, for magical beings who are asking for more, for the shapeshifters. Is that you? I hope so, because this is who we want to play with. This is how we're asking to create. This is the vibration that we're putting out into the universe to ask for more, to be more, to play with more energetic creators, right? And speaking of creation, I'm also the creator of the Congruent Living Coaching. So let's get to it, shall we? Today we are playing with, are you a deliberate creator or are you a deliberator? So many of my clients come with me with an idea. Hey Aurelia, welcome, welcome. Of what they want to play with, how they want to create, what they want to create. And the first thing I ask them is, what's your priority? What would you like to focus on, right? And they kind of go like, well, but everything's just yummy. Everything seems so much fun. Yeah, and what are you telling the universe, right? Hey, Eureka, welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody, we have an international group here. I'm so grateful for you all. If you're watching this later, press hashtag replay. If you're on here now, tell everybody where you're from. Let's celebrate being alive. Hey, Margaret, and how you doing? So, I'll give you an example. I had this beautiful being come to me this week, and she asked for some energetic body work, and I was so happy to be in that space and place of working on this beautiful body and this beautiful being with energetically just shifting and changing things. And I asked her, what is it you want to create? And how would you like to create with that? What does that look like for you? And most of her replies were, everyone, everybody, change the world, right? Love that. And when you tell the universe everything, everybody, all the time, right? You're not giving the universe something they can work with. Because everybody means the crappy people that you probably don't resonate to your vibration. That means you're going to be working extra hard, right? You're going to be stopping yourself, which I explained to her. You know, are you putting your creations on hold till everybody gets you? Right? Oh, I got a heart on that one, right? And that, hey Kim, welcome, welcome. And that has us being a deliberator. When we put ourselves on hold, we go into, should I, shouldn't I? How will they receive this? What do I have to change about me in order to reach them? Rather than being a deliberate creator, which is, okay, this is my focus. Right now, in this 10 seconds, I'm going to deliberately call in the energies of what I'm asking to create, who I'm asking to create with, and how I'm asking to create. Right? And I'm going to be so deliberate that my whole being is the energy of whatever that is that I'm asking to show up. Now, when I speak about deliberate creation, it's not it can be an object, it can be a relationship, it can be, I'm going to deliberately create with joy today. Right? Is this making sense? Are you with me on this one? I gotta sit up properly now. Hey Tricia, welcome, welcome. You got that? Everything you be and do has an energy to that, right? It's about you not trying to be like somebody else. It's about you deliberately focusing on what brings you joy and go out into the future, get a sense of that, and then pull it into the present and deliberately create everything you're creating with today, this 10 seconds, with that energy, right? Janie, okay, so I gotta put my glasses on for this one. Ta-da! So by deliberate you mean focused. So cool. Kim says yes. So here, I'm going to kind of go into this in a different way. Thank you so much, Janie. I'll take these off so you're not seeing the reflection in the light. People often get caught up in deliberating, right? Should I choose this or should I choose that? I'm going to take my time. I'm going to just I'm going to get all the information here, and then I'm going to look at all the information there. When we do that, we often forget to include the energies of what we're creating with, of how we want to create with. And we let the universe know, I'm not ready for anything. Hey, Maureen. I'm not ready for anything greater until I figure this out. Right? Hey, Lola. Everybody's popping in. Woohoo! The gang's all here. So the difference between deliberate focus is I am intentionally going to focus on creating greater today. Right? It could show up. How it shows up, it's no, that's the universe playing with me. How it shows up, that it shows up. That's my job, right? My job is to focus. So, like this morning, I got up early, as is my wont, and I was like, so what is all this? And I'm like, I've been playing with this crystal, right? Tim Wilde does a wonderful explanation of going from fear to love in front of your, right about here, in front of this part of your body, which I just had a brain fart, I can't remember. Solar plexus, ta-da! Right? And I've been, he said, do it for 21 days and see what happens. So I've been doing it every morning and every evening, right? So I'm deliberately starting my day off with what brings me joy, right? With what creates change in my body. And so then it's like, oh, so cool. What else is being asked of me today? Well, I know that there are certain things that are being asked of me with the team that I'm working with the questions that I've been asking, what the universe has been gifting me. And it's my job to choose to receive it or not, right? So I'm focusing with the rest of my day on completing what I said to myself that I would complete by Sunday, right? I'm focusing, and I'm deliberately dedicating the rest of the day to that. Now, the rest of the day, maybe that'll take me 10 seconds, maybe that'll take me 10 hours. That's not my job, right? My job is to ask myself, okay, what is it that I'm creating? What am I focusing on today? And it's all about bringing me joy. Yeah. So Janie, let me know if that assists you. And for everybody else popping on, good morning, Lola. Let me know if that assists you, right? It's a deliberate and intentional way of being in your life. You know, last night we had people for company. It's like, so what would create the greatest amount of fun for me to cook with, to bake with, to create with? It's for my deliberate intention in my life is what brings me joy. Because joy creates, right? The universe loves joy. The planet loves joy. So if I'm not, hey Sonali, if I'm not in that space of joy, of creating with what brings me joy, right? I know that I'm not actually focusing on what creates the greatest amount of possibilities. Perfect example, yesterday morning, got up, got on my bike, said to Riggy, I'm going to walk the dog and then I'm going biking if you want to come with me. He's like, sure. So we went at 8 o'clock in the morning, we went down the canal, have fabulous breakfast of coffee and croissant, very French, my darling, and came back and the world was ours 10 o'clock in the morning, right? Totally changed. My body's like, thank you. So it's about listening to what's being required and focusing on that. Okay, intentionally and deliberately focusing on what would bring me the greatest amount of joy, right? And I am a being who chose a body, so I'm going to include my body in that joy. Janie, approach with intention. Yes, absolutely. And it's also, thank you, Janie, so much for these questions. It's also, you're going to see me glowing, okay? We don't have any air conditioning here, so I'm just going to wipe up the beads of sweat. Yes, so it's really about commitment. What are you committed to? When I ask, you know, what's your priority? What's your first priority here? I'm also asking, are you willing to commit to that? Because if you're not willing to commit in everything you be, do, say, in every way you be, then there is no intention, right? So a lot of people will, you know, say, how can I manifest this? Or, you know, they'll do a whole bunch of clearings or whatever that is for them, or they'll ask questions. They're not willing to actually be the energy, right? Intentionally be the energy of what it is you're asking for. So that's called pulling in the energy. Pulling in the energies, right? I have, somewhere here. I was going to show you something and now I don't know where it is. I have 10 hearts on a piece of paper, and I'm pulling in the energy of 10 new clients, right, that are going to vibrate, that are going to actually ask and be and play in the way that actually creates greater for them, that brings me joy working with them, right? That it has them as congruent leaders in their own life. And for those of you who don't know, congruent coaching is how I play. It's a 6-month program for people who want to get involved in their life in a way that has them creating in a congruent, joy-filled, creative way. Whatever it is, could be your relationships, could be in your business, could be in your life, could be in your money flows, right? Check it out. Come on down. It's go to SusanLazarHart.com on congruent living coaching. I would love to put you on my calendar and we can have a conversation just to get to know each other. You'll see on the calendar that when you sign up, I've asked you a few questions again, so we can see if we're a good fit, right? That's what congruency is all about. That's what intention is all about, right? That's what the deliberate focus is all about. Because when you're scattering all over the place, I'm a space cadet. I totally get that. But what, right? And that brings me joy. And what I am aware of is that I can be that space cadet and can be focused, laser focused, when the time is asking me. So, as this is not a dialogue or a monologue, it's a conversation. Janie has already jumped in with some questions. Anybody else? Anything popping for you? It's very interesting how we're not taught to focus. We're taught to focus on what somebody else tells us to do, like in the school systems. We're taught to focus on what our parents tell us to do, which is in whatever system that is, familial systems. Right? Often we're taught to focus on what the other person requires of us, which is in the relationship systems. You know, what if none of those actually create anything greater? They just keep you that status quo. So is now the time to go beyond the status quo and start asking deliberately, with intention, what is it I want to create today? What energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to generate, create, instill, and instigate a life of, and you fill in that. For me, it would be a life of joy, abundance, and ongoing self-education and receiving. So part of the deliberate, congruent focus has to do with, are you willing to receive the information that the universe is gifting you? Right? So I find for myself, I've been asking for clarity. And everything that I'm doing now, creating with now, is dedicated towards clarity, right? No matter what it looks like, no matter what it takes. And it does show up in a totally different way than I had even thought, right? Yeah. So, questions. Did I fry you already? I hope not. I really appreciate you coming and joining me. I know this is a holiday in the United States, and a lot of you are with your families. And because we have an international community here, it just feels light to ask these questions, right? Are you deliberate in what you say and do? So how many times have you heard somebody say, oh, I didn't mean that? It's like, you said what? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I really didn't mean to say that. I really didn't mean to do that. Well, does that ring true for you? Or do we say, do we say, I didn't mean to do that as a way to cover up that you actually deliberately did? So my question is often when things don't work out the way I think I deliberately intended, I'll ask myself, wow, so how did I create that? And sometimes I'll get an awareness a year later or 2 years later. It's like, oh, wow. That's what that was all about. Oh, yeah, I did create crap there. Yeah, that was me. And the awareness was like, oh, maybe it was required that I create the crap in order for me to be where I am now. Right? Yeah. You get the information when you get it. You get it when you get it. Anything else popping for people? I'm just not getting your questions. Maybe you guys are done. So if you're done, I'm cool with that. I am going to have a deliberate day today of everything that I do and say and play with. Remembering, of course, every word you say has an energy to it. Be congruent with that. Be present with that. We often talk about pulling energy and pushing energy. If you're willing to be a deliberate creator, you're letting the universe know, I got my eye on the prize. And just send it in. I'm needing a little assistance here, right? Are you willing to receive what it is that the universe has for you? Got to put my glasses on again. Kim, so we must take responsibility for all our decisions. Yeah, I would say, I love you too, Dana. Thank you so much. I would say instead of saying I'm going to take responsibility for my decisions, it's more like, is this what I intended? See, I don't bother saying I'm taking responsibility for my decisions, because for me it's about choice, right? Like, oh, here's a choice. Oh, here's a choice. Here's a choice. Oh, did I decide that? If I decided something, then I know I made myself with a dead end, right? Rather than, oh, I'm going to choose this. See what this creates. It's a bit lighter way that I like to play and live with, right? And taking responsibility, it's more like just being in the question. Oh, how did I create that? Or is that what I intended to create? Or how's this working for me? You know, I often say, how's it working for you? And it's not sarcastic. It's really, how is it working for you? So it's more about being in the question. All right, Kim, let me know if that assists you at all. Yeah, oh, I got a heart on that one. Cool. I like that, Kim says. Yeah, because responsibility, here's the thing about, I have to take responsibility for this. It has to do with the word respond. So if I look at something that didn't work out yesterday, I'm already in the past. So I'm responding to a choice I made in the past. Now, there could be some clarity there, but for me, instead of letting the universe know, I want to be in the past responding, I'm letting the universe know, wow, that was my best shot. Okay, what else could I choose? And the universe is like, oh, you want something else? Yeah, please. Send it in, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it takes. And because sometimes it takes a lot, right? Sometimes it takes a lot. I'm not the smartest crayon in the box. So sometimes I need every color of the rainbow to have me say, oh yeah, now I get it. Like today I was reading, I read a page every day, and I was reading about, I forget what I was reading about, but it had me aware of everywhere where I've been a bully. Right, in my own life, in my facilitation, in my teaching, and whatever that is. And I was like, oh, that's what that is, right? Sorry, time for wipe the sweat. That's what that is. Oh, cool. So now I have this awareness, I don't have to take responsibility. It's more like, oh, I can change that. What would it take to change that? What's required, right? Because my priority is being present with my clients, with myself, with my children, grandchildren, partners, whoever I'm with. So if any part of me is trying to prove that I'm right, I'm actually bullying me and them. Right? So part of being deliberate is listening to what I say and acknowledging, is this working or not? And how did I create that is a great question to ask. Not to go into it, but more like, so what energies was I using that actually don't work for me? Or, wow, how did I create that? Look at that time when I created $250,000 a year. How did I create that? Okay, let's download and duplicate that. Right? You get it? It's about playing with all of the energies. And that's what deliberate creation is. It's the willingness to pull energies in that deliberately create with you and for you. Right? So a lot of you know I'm not technically, again, the smartest crayon in the box. And so I will happily ask for help, right? I will deliberately go out and seek somebody to assist me with whatever technology that I don't get or I don't understand. I'm not, trying to figure that out brings me no joy at all. Asking, hey, can you give me a hand here? Can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? That brings me lots of joy. That's about my self-education. Yeah. So that's part of me as a deliberate creator. If I don't get it, I'm happy to ask for help. Yeah. And happy to receive it, right? Yeah. So again, deliberate creation, it's not about a thing as much as it is about the way that you be with your life, with your living. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Are we in the right lane? Let me see some hearts or thumbs up. It's really roasting in here today. Yeah, I adore you all. Thank you so much for showing up. It's Sunday, and it's Ask Susan Sunday, and I look forward to this so much, sharing this information with you, as I'm so grateful for all of you showing up and sharing this as well. So cool, cool, cool. Yay. Thank you, love you. I love you too, Kim, so much. Yay. Hey, congruent quickies. We are going into July with relationships with money. We're going to have congruent quickies Tuesday, Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There really are quickies. And I've been listening to what you're asking for. I've been looking when I take a poll, and we've gone, from relationship and with yourself, relationship, the 6 myths in relationships. And people are saying, well, Susan, we want more about relationships. How do you create with abundance? How do you play with money? So that's where we're going. Hey, Mary Fletcher Farrell. Yay, I got a thumbs up on that. So that's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday and Thursday on my personal page. And again, if you want to dive deeper, congruent living coaching. It's my new baby that I'm playing with. It's a 6-month program that I would love to invite you to. I am inviting you to. Go to SusanLazarHart.com and you will see the link to sign up on my calendar, where we can actually talk to each other. Thank you, Dania. Thank you so much. Yay. Yeah. And I have a few questions in there. Answer those questions, and then we'll see if we're a good fit, because that's what congruent living is all about, being a good fit for you, right? I heard this thing today, and it just landed, and it's something we know, but it's people just don't talk about it very much, which is you've got to be true to you. There's so many people out there right now, the way that they're creating, how they're creating. There's information, and there's only one you. There's only one Stardust that came as you and chose a body in this lifetime. So don't try and be anybody else, right? Part of congruent living, deliberate congruent living, is deliberately focusing on what brings you joy, on how you create, what resources that you have that you could actually share with the world. And I wonder what that could change. Gandhi says, one success at a time, right? Be you and change the world. So I will leave you with that. I will deliberately leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me this Sunday. I adore you. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader that you came here to be, right? Because the world needs more of you, and all of your joy and special sauce and yumminess, right? The world doesn't need a copy of somebody else, right? Don't cheat the world out on your specialness. Now is the time to deliberately choose you. I love you, and I'll see you Tuesday and Thursday on my personal page with congruent quickies and your relationships with money this month of July. Bye-bye.